Hi, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm my husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure you subscribe to us and share it with somebody else. Also, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below. And once again, subscribe. Jackie, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine.
A year older?
Yes.
You enjoyed your birthday yesterday? At the time when we recorded this.
I did.
Okay. Just checking. You ready?
My birthday was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh. It was yesterday, and we had a good time. You had a good time.
So, Married at First Sight, season
16.
16. Episode 2.
2.
And we got 3.
3 weddings.
3 weddings.
3 weddings and 2 more to go. No.
3 weddings.
3 weddings.
So we start off continuing with Shaquille and Kirsten.
Yep.
And we see her coming down the aisle, and when she gets down the aisle, you know, they kind of look at each other, and the officiant introduces them, and Shaquille chuckles, and she was like, what? Well, he was like, nothing. It's just, I'm stunned. You're so beautiful. God knew what he was doing when he made you. And she was like, oh, thank you. It kind of was like he chuckled about something else, but, I mean, who knows?
Might have chuckled at them hips, like, oh, Lord. Ooh, Jesus.
He just didn't want to say what it was. But they go right into, okay, what's the friends and family say about Kirsten?
Mm-hmm.
Kirsten. I'm going to keep doing that.
It's Kirsten.
It's Kirsten?
I think it's
Is that how she said it?
Well, that's how my ex-girlfriend said it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to say it like that.
Oh, it's Kirsten.
I think it's I think it's Kirsten. She says Kirsten.
Kirsten, okay.
Okay, don't do
that.
that.
My ex-girlfriend's watching. You let me know did I pronounce it wrong all those years? But I'm just saying.
No, everybody say it different.
Okay.
Like some people say Tara, some people say Tara.
Kirsten.
Same.
So if I say Kirsten, y'all know who I'm talking about.
It's Kirsten. But we might veer off. But anyway, her family says that she's not just the life of the party. She is every party. She knows a lot of the hot spots in Nashville because she's a native of Nashville. She's a confident black queen, and when she's ready to step out, you gotta be ready to step out because she's going all the spots. Okay, well, she got the right one because she got Dapper Dylan.
Dapper Dylan.
And his family says what you got is a classy man. He's always dressed to the nines. So be concerned about having to share a closet space, or be prepared to share your closet space. He's had a lot of successes, but the one thing missing is you.
She's his queen to be.
A woman, yes.
She's his queen to be. I ain't gonna say.
Please, no. All right, so then they get into their vows, and she says, you know, for her, it takes she says it takes a brave man to embark on this journey that they're on. Today, I may be a beauty, but other days I might be a beast. Just letting you know. Up front, but what I will try to do is be patient. I'll show you compassion, give you grace as needed, and I'll try to express my true feelings with you.
Lie.
Off the top.
Because she didn't express her true feelings?
Because she wasn't attracted to my man at first.
Because he had 2 strikes.
Later on.
We'll talk about the 2 strikes.
All right, for him, his vows, he was like, hi, best friend. It's nice to meet you. I promise to respect you. I'll be your strength. I'll be a joyful spirit. I'll keep that spark going. We can pray together, laugh together, and grow together, and spend the rest of our day, rest of today, and a life with you. Okay. And so, you know, they go through the whole ceremony, and the officiant says, you may now kiss your bride. And it is a pause. Remember before that Kirsten said, she gave her friends a signal, okay, if I'm liking him, I'll let him kiss me on the lips, particularly if he asks. Otherwise, I'll give him the cheek. And so, it's a little pause. He doesn't ask. I said out of habit, people don't necessarily ask because the officiant says you can kiss them. It's proper to ask, in this case, particularly because it's a stranger. But so you just go for it. And so they paused, and like he didn't even go for it. You know, she turned her cheek, and he kissed on the cheek, and they hugged each other.
She gave him the church hug.
I was like,
she gave him the church hug.
She don't like.
She turned her head, and he gave the pat on the back church hug like I was friends. She
She don't like my man.
But he liked her though. He was like, oh my goodness.
He was like, she said she looked good in her dress. She looks good. One thing he said about her giving him the cheek, he says, you know, that shows me that she has boundaries, and I respect that. So he didn't have a problem with it, because he don't know that what she said was, if I give him the cheek, that means, all right. But she compliments him. He looked good in his suit. He shares that he made the bow tie. And he said, without a doubt, she's my type. You know, brown skin, nice shape, you know, everything.
Intelligent,
and
smart.
She did not say the same. And on after party, she said she was not attracted to him at first. She said
she wasn't attracted to him, but she also said, in doing her vignette, that he had 2 strikes. 1, that he was bald. 2, that he was younger than her.
Yeah, because when they had their conversation, she was like, when were you born? And he said 91, and 91. She was like, oh. So he's younger than her. But from what I recall, it's not that much of an age difference, a couple of years, so.
Not much of an age difference, and if you want to know what 3 strikes would be, the 3rd strike would be the fact that he didn't have personality, which he does.
Yes.
She loves his personality.
Yeah, she said his personality outweighs his exterior.
His personality outweighs his exterior, and the other strike would be that fact that he couldn't measure up. And you guys figure out what measure up means, and I'll do it. We all grown folks here.
She said it. It just watch the other episode. She said he had to be a certain length.
Yeah, he ain't the length downstairs. She said she can't fix that. He can't fix that.
No, she said he has nice teeth too. Yeah. Again, he shares, okay, my last name is Dillon. She's like, okay, I was wondering what it is. Dillon. Okay, that's how you spell it. And you know, what do you do? He said he's originally from Louisiana. He's working at TSU. He's the executive director of enrollment, and mentoring is a big thing for him. And she was like, oh, my dad likes to tailgate at TSU. He didn't even go there. And so people, see, that's what happens when you don't know how to work that iPhone.
I know how to work it. It's happening.
Get you a Samsung.
And what's happening with your kids at school and they're calling you. But anyway.
Get you a Samsung. But anyway, I'm the only holdout in my family. I got a Samsung. Yeah. It is what it is. But anyway, and he was like, oh yeah, that's what you do. You tailgate. That's a thing. And so she says, you know, I like sports though, and he shares, you know, I never played sports though, and he tells her the story about how he had a serious motor vehicle accident when he was younger, his whole family, and that's what the scar on his head is, which explains the bald head. I don't think he's probably bald all the time, but that's why probably he's bald, but he has the scar on his head. He talked about how he got ejected from the car flipped over, like it was a really bad accident, but they all made it out. And she shares that she used to teach, and so she likes that he's a mentor, and he says that she's the sweet. What he get from her, she's the sweetest. And so really that's it with Shaquille and Kirsten. We'll see where they go from there. Like I said, she wasn't attracted to him.
She's not feeling him, but he's feeling her.
Very much feeling her.
Seems like he's a very pleasant guy, real respectful and sweet. We'll just see how the families interact when they get to the reception. And how she responded to the reception. Because sometimes she'll let you know. If you ever seen what you've seen so far, her facial expressions will let you know if she like him or don't like him. And hopefully he'll be able to pick up on that.
Next, we'll go to the next couple that got married. We'll go with them from beginning to end. It was Nicole and Chris, and we know Nicole is our sassy New York lady transplant to Nashville, and she goes dress shopping with her mom Nancy and her stepsister Christine. And the funny part is, she said, I don't like to go shopping and trying on clothes because it's always an issue. Something doesn't fit. You know, she like kind of gives her anxiety, you know, trying on stuff. And so while she's talking to producer, her vignette, she's like, I got sweat coming all down my legs. Am I supposed to sweat? See, it's a bead right there. Don't get that on camera. Don't get my sweaty legs. What's going on?
I ain't peeing.
I'm not peeing on myself. So she said, you know, she's had plenty of relationships, but she never had somebody that wanted to commit to her. And so it gave her a fear of what's wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Yeah. And so that's been her issue with relationships. We see her trying on a lacy ball gown, pretty dress, and she says, my first impression of the dress, it has the makings to be my dress, but this is not the one.
Not the one.
Okay. And she shares that with her family. And then when she goes to try on another dress, her mom Nancy's talking to her sister Christine, and she was like, you know, I just got a fear that she's going to have too much energy for a guy. And so she needs someone that's going to be able to match that and rein it in, because she knows her daughter could be over the top. She got, the mama is the FBI. She's the full-blooded Italian, and so she's like, I know how my daughter
I think Chris can do that. I think Chris can balance her, and I think Chris has enough in him to also meet her talking, because Chris likes to talk, but he's gonna also be respectful. So I think they did match them well. But
so then she tries on another lacy dress. This one's got more of a square neckline, but it's sleeveless dress, but it's got a strap. I didn't really care for it, but she liked it. It had a little flyaway
poof
part on it that you really see it later, but it looked nice on her. And so her stepsister tells her, you know, when you go into this, be open and to who you might get and to the person. And Nicole says she's looking forward to getting to know him fully and getting to know his whole body, but I'm not getting ready to have no sex tonight. Her mom's like, you know, she tells her later, you know, just relax, get to know him, you know, get some rest. Nicole said before that she's like, I go to sleep early, so I'm sure I'll be tired that night. Yeah. So she already says, no, I'm not going to rush into anything.
Plus, she didn't want him to be able to be talking to her parents or dad the next day, knowing that he just was in her guts the night before.
GTD.
Yeah.
Knowing he got the draws
the night
before. So we see Chris out tuxedo shopping with Bo and his brother Brandon. Chris's brother Brandon, and Chris's problem said he's, you know, I have a concern about rejection, you know, I've got the nice guy thing, and nice guys being a nice guy hasn't always worked out for me. And so he was like, I definitely want to dress to impress. And, you know, his friend is like, you know, I think you're a thoughtful guy, and so you'll be able to dial into what it is that she wants and go that path. He says, you know, he's a hopeless romantic and he's selfless, and that's what he wants to give his wife. So first he tries on a blue suit with a long blue tie. I was like, They was like, nah. And so then he tries the gray suit with black trim and black bow tie. And I was like, yeah, that looks more like it. And they agreed. And so he was like, when I put this on and I come down the aisle, I hope her jaw drops when she sees me. And, you know, he said, in this tuxedo, I feel like it did when I was a kid, when I hit that home run and they got to walk off. That's how I feel in this tuxedo. So I hope she gets the vibe.
Yeah, you feel like you about to knock it out the park.
So then we get to the wedding day, and she shares, Nicole shares while she's getting dressed, and she was like, you know, I haven't been in love since Bennifer. That's Ben Affleck and Jennifer.
The first time.
Jennifer Lopez, the first time, because you know they're back together.
They're back together.
So that's been a while since she's been in love. So she was like, you know, it's been a minute since I had somebody. So I'm excited and nervous about this process. But I'm gonna see. She said usually I come in, like I'm at 100 normally, so something of this caliber I would be at 200, but I'm trying to bring it down to 80. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I can maintain that, because I don't want to like push him away. Later on she talks about how much she talks to producer after she gets married. He was like, what do you want to ask? What do you want to ask your husband? I want to ask him this. And she lists out like 20 questions.
In like 2 minutes. In a minute and a half.
0.2 milliseconds. You know, and I know the producer's like, oh wow, okay. But anyway.
He gave him a mouthful, dog.
Her mom shares she's got mixed emotions. She's excited and nervous at the same time. She's concerned that he won't appreciate her for who she is. She really wants somebody to appreciate Nicole for who she is. And I really do think Chris will do that.
Yeah, I think he really likes her, man. And we saw that interaction once they got married, and that how he was going to treat her and what he said in the vow. So.
They're both jittery, kind of nervous going into the wedding.
Yeah.
They get gifts from each other. Each one of their gifts to each other has multiple parts, and that was interesting. She gave him a crystal. He gave her a stone.
A stone, yeah.
And they also get a card, and he gave her a diamond necklace, and of course he gave her the that we saw last season, the Josh Allen like engagement ring. She was like, oh my gosh, she got teary about it. She says, I've never had any guy give me anything outside of my family.
Like one person in my family.
My family that touched me like this. So this shows me that he's thoughtful, and this is why I had to marry a stranger, because the guys I dated that knew me didn't even give me anything.
Yeah, that was immature.
That touched me like this. She gave him a Mr. and Mrs. picture frame, and so then his thing was he usually dates girls 5'2" to 5'7". He's 6'2", so if she's a little bit taller, that's fine. If she's taller than him, that's okay too. That's slim.
Yes.
You go find that. But so that's where they are. Her dad, Mark, comes to walk her down the aisle. We know her mom's a full-blooded Italian. She said before her dad's Jewish. And, you know, her dad's like, you know, I'm ready to walk you down the aisle. Let's go do this. And so they come down the aisle. They greet each other. You know, they say when the officiant introduced him, Chris meet Nicole, Nicole meet Chris. And she was like, I said your name would be Chris. He said, that's funny. I said your name would be Nicole. Get out of here. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But that's what they said. But anyway, so they each call each other handsome and beautiful. For her family and friends thing, they let her know that she's a motor mouth. She's a car-carrying member of the FBI. Again, that's full-blooded Italian. It's never a dull moment with her. She can be a handful at times, but she can also be a handful of selflessness and generosity. Make sure you keep Nicole on her toes and give her lots of affection. And his family says that he's an affectionate person. You'll never find somebody as loyal and kind as him. He's gentle and caring. He tends to overthink, but so he needs somebody to match his emotional level, but also be able to put him in place when he gets into his overthinking. And she's like nodding like, I can do that. And Chris has 2 babies. Just know when you come into this that he's got 2 babies, and she's looking like
one of them like 90 pounds. And she's looking like
yeah, his 90-pound baby. He has 2 husky mixes. He tells her that later when they have their chit chat. She's like, okay. She never mentioned that she had a dog, that she be doing the squeaky toy play with him to get him to to eat a snack, but. Anyway, so they go through their vows. You know, I'm a woman. I'm usually a woman of many words, she says. So I want to keep it short and sweet. I want to keep that promise. I want to respect you and protect you, encourage you, make you laugh. I want to choose you even from this day forward. Chris says to her, I'm excited to learn about you. I want to know your likes and dislikes. I want to show you the importance of the little things. And then he goes off on a tangent a little bit. I want to be able to give you flowers, not because you don't have to get flowers just because you're mad at y'all had an argument or whatever. You get flowers just to be thoughtful, and I want to be the person to give you flowers. And I was like, okay, Chris.
But side note, here's an interesting fact about that. About her wedding, before she came down the aisle, champagne was sprayed on her, and she was upset, and that's why she was really talkative, because she was kind of upset, like, oh my God, I just had champagne sprayed on me, I smell like champagne, my makeup is dripping, my hair is wet. One of her bridesmaids was shaking up the champagne and popped it in her direction, not by mistake, but by mistake. Of course, they were trying to get it lit before the wedding, and so that's why you didn't see her as talkative during the ceremony, because she was upset.
Yeah, so, but anyway, so they kiss. Side note, he didn't ask either. But they kiss. So they chat afterwards. They're really hitting it off. It's the one time she's speechless. He, again, shares about his dogs. He's got 2 husky mixes. She said, like I said, she wants to know everything about him. The one thing he did mention, I'm sure you probably saw this when you put the ring on my finger. He's missing a part of his finger. He had a work injury where a 1,000-pound table fell on his finger. But, you know, it's all good. And the one thing she said to the producer is, you know, I want to ask him all these questions, and I also want to kiss him again. So she likes Chris.
She likes Chris.
So that's a good thing.
And she likes kissing Chris.
So that's a good thing. All right. So the next wedding we have is Gina and Clint. They go tux and dress shopping.
Don't do my man Clint like that. Don't do my man Clint.
She says she's excited to try on dresses. She goes with her mom and her friends Julia and Kaylin. And he goes with his friends earn. You know, Eddie. So his friends Aaron, Andrew, and Anthony. And yeah. So she tries a couple of dresses. The first one is plain, but it's pretty. And her friend Julia's like, I hate it. And it's plain, and you need something glitzy. And her mom Denise says, you got to get something that shows that you're a boss bee. And plus, whatever you put on, you got to be able to bring that man in, because you close to 40. I need a grandbaby. She was like, I'm not 40 yet, mama.
Not there yet.
Okay, but I will be. And plus, I got a 5-year-old baby already. Talk about her big curly-haired dog.
It's some kind of poodle.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but. So then she tries on a form-fitting lacy dress, and they're like, that's it. Mom loves it. She kind of gets teared up. Gina's like, okay, this is it. Clint's trying on he tries on a blue tux, and his friend is like, bro, you look like you a Chippendale. It looked like you could just rip it off. That's not it. That's not it. His friends talk about that they think he's ready to get married. He was probably ready a few years ago. Apparently when he lived in Florida, and there was a woman he dated there.
She broke his heart.
Yes, it was real serious, and it didn't work out. And after that, I guess he just went on a Playboy
Playboy rant. Start sleeping with any anybody.
Yeah, because later on he shares, I'm 40. I've had 65 partners, and I'm like, wow.
That's a lot. Yeah, I'm not going into that one for the other video. That's a lot. 65 is a lot.
I'm sure somebody out there got more, but
I'm
mean,
sure.
that's not necessarily.
I'm not here to judge.
It's just our opinion.
My opinion. Okay. 65 different bodies is a lot.
That's more than one a year. He's only 40.
Yeah.
It's more than one a year.
Yeah, 65 different bodies is a whole lot.
One for each year of your life. That's a lot. But anyway, so finally he tries on a gray suit, and his friends are like, yeah, that's it. No tie, top button open. About to show that hair on his chest, but it is what it is.
It's what it is.
He said, I feel like it's a classic suit. It's got sparks of eccentric. It shows that I'm smart. So, and you know, we go head to their wedding.
Yeah.
His dad, Rob, is there when he's getting dressed, and then his brother, Robbie, and his brother, Ryan, which makes me wonder where they got Clint from. And I feel like
Clint's a nickname.
A middle name or a nickname, he gotta have an R. I can't imagine that they got all these R's, but he's the C. I just can't see it. But anyway, he was like, you know, I've done a lot of crazy things, but this is at the top. You know, it's the ultimate journey for me to get married. And his dad tells him, you know, just remember just to be yourself, let her be herself. And Clint says, I know I have to be pliable. Yes. So you gotta have some compromise. He understands that.
And I think he understands that. I think with her, he has to be pliable because, you know, I think look at him and the business that he does and where he's at and how he likes to be, as you call him earlier, playboy. He moves a lot. And so he has to kind of mold himself to his wife and kind of to her to enable to, for the relationship to be good.
Mm-hmm. He said his only fear going into the wedding is what if it doesn't work out? What if there's no attraction? And then what if, you know, she doesn't get along with his family and friends? You know, that's his concern. If they're not super cool, we're going to have to make them be super cool. For Gina, while she's getting ready, her friend Reagan's there, and of course her mom is there. She's concerned about the awkwardness that there might be. You know, she said she realizes it's a risk that she's taking, but she's ready for a partner. She's been focused on her career before, and so now she's ready to be in a relationship. And so she needs somebody to keep her calm because she can go off. Her brother Mark comes to walk her down the aisle, and before they go in, he gives her some encouragement. Oh, what I wanted to say was when her bridesmaids and her came down the elevator, she had her dog with her. Yes. So I thought she was going to come down the aisle with the dog, but she didn't. But the dog did make an appearance later.
It made a good appearance.
Yeah, but her brother Mark walks her down the aisle. He gives her some encouraging words, encourages her to be patient and trust the process that she's going into, and so they walk in. And when they introduce themselves, she hugs him right away. It's like, you know, they're excited. They look like they're glad to see each other.
Oh, he looked at her like she's the best thing in the world. Like, oh my God, you're beautiful. He looked at her like, oh my God. Like, where you been at all my life?
Yeah.
And we find out where she's been at most of his life.
Yeah, that's funny. His friends and family say, you know, he's the captain of his own ship, literally. He's got 2 boats called Dang and Dang It. And he's ready to set sail on marriage. You're going to be in for the ride of your life. And my husband said on after party, she said the gift that she got from him was just a pair of sailing gloves.
Yeah, dog, he gave her some sailing gloves. That's
I feel like he didn't put no thought into that.
No thought whatsoever. A pair of black sailing gloves.
And that should have been a clue for what the family said. But
no, that should have been a clue about the relationship. Don't mess with that dude.
Anyway, for her family and friends say, you know, you're very lucky to be marrying such a kind-hearted, fierce woman. She's never met a stranger, so no wonder she's marrying a stranger. She's an amazing travel partner, and love is a choice, so she's making this is day one of choosing you every day. For their vows, she was like, I have immense gratitude. I'm thankful and inspired to go on an adventure with you. I'm taking a chance, and this is the beginning of our story. Clint says that, you know, I want to continue to make this journey exciting and interesting. I'll be the co-captain of your car that you can rely on. I promise to have an open heart, mind, and soul, and to seek a deep understanding of you. And from there, of course, they kiss. Because if Fisher says they can kiss, he doesn't ask either. She don't have no problem. I mean, he like grabs her face up, kisses her.
They kissed once, they kissed twice, and I think even went in for a third time. Like they kissed for a minute, and it was like she was down with it.
He kissed her. And so, I forgot. This is when the dog made an appearance. Before that, when they exchanged the rings, she calls for her dog to come in. Her dog is a ring bearer. He's got the ring around his neck. And so she unties the ring and puts it on his finger. Tries to put on his finger because it doesn't fit. I thought they got the ring sizes beforehand, but
maybe his hand swole up. I
don't know. And your hand ain't that swollen. It's
swole up for OJ.
Anyway, she couldn't get the ring past his knuckle. Not really. But anyway, yeah. So they kiss and then they go to chit chat later. He was like, "Oh, your dress is beautiful." In his vignette, he's like, "I'm lucky to have her. She's beautiful. I like her body. Her eyes are pretty or whatever." They talk about their job. He says, "I'm in tech. I guess you would call me a little bit of a nerd." And she was like, I own a salon. I'm a stylist." And she was like, "Okay, so where do you live?" And he was like, "Oh, I live downtown." She said, "Where downtown?" And he was like, "I rent at 501. And she was like, "Shut up." Well, that's what I would say. But she was like, "What?"
You look for me. I thought I saw you in the
I live
elevator.
at 501. She was like, I speak to everybody on the elevator, so I'm thinking I probably did speak to you because you look a little familiar.
They look a little familiar, and so they live in the same building. And if you watch After Party, I'm gonna give you a scoop. She said they didn't cross paths, but she crossed paths with the producers the day after they interviewed her, and she wondered why they was back in the building again. And they told her that they were just filming some of the parts of the building and that other. But then she spoke to the valet or the doorman, and he gave them the real scoop. They was filming some old guy in the building that was going to be on the show. Yeah,
and of course she didn't know it would be her match, but she knew somebody got matched.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be her match. But anyway, she likes Clint. She said he's got a nice sense of humor. And then she said something that any cosmetologist, hairdresser, stylist would say. She was like, and he's got a nice wave to his hair. She would notice that, the wave to his hair.
Yeah. You been noticing people's wave to their hair?
I look at people's hair. I'm a teeth person. But it's a little bit different between, black guys and white guys. You don't really necessarily say, "I noticed the wave of a black guy's hair." Even though they do have waves, and it can be curly, but yeah, no.
Okay.
So.
Oh, you still be noticing guys' hair?
No, I told you I'm a teeth person. I'm a teeth person, so.
Oh, okay. I'm just playing. Got you. So let's move on. We got the weddings. No, we're finished. We're finished. We're good.
Okay, so let me go real quick to Dominique and McKinley, because they go dress in tuxedo shopping with Dominique. She's got her mom Toya, her grandma Leah. Black don't crack. Look, I wouldn't have thought that was her grandma.
No, grandma.
They're both pretty.
Grandma pretty.
Leah, her mom, she said that's her best friend. They're hoping that Dominique and the experts were hoping that Dominique and McKinley are a good match, despite their age difference. But she says she wants to get a dress that she feels sexy and classy and sassy in. She says she's never been one that imagined her wedding. She's a tomboy. She's a sports person. So she's not the person that wrote down, "I want my wedding to look like this." She was like, "This is not me." So she tries on a strapless, lacy dress. It's form-fitting, and she really likes it. And she says, some people might think I'm too young to get married, but shoot, people used to get married when they was 14. So I don't think I'm too young.
She's too young to get married. I'm gonna put that. You watched the video that I put out there. She's too young to marry. She's immature. She's not ready yet.
Anyway, so we see McKinley with his friends. His friends Tim, Brandon, and Chad, and he goes to try on a blue tux. And he was like, I like to think my style, I'm a stylish person, maybe she might not feel that way, but they were like, I think you need to make sure you tan your ankles. Whatever you get, tan your ankles, because them things is looking pale right now.
Put some socks on, dog. Put them socks on.
None of them are wearing socks. They got them shoes that you ain't wearing no socks with.
Put socks on.
But they asked, what's your expectation? He said, well, I'm an introverted, but I do like to hang out. I like to try new things. So hopefully it's somebody I can try new things with and go out with. But also someone that doesn't mind, or I like being at home with, and we can Netflix and chill. That's what I'm looking for. And so, they asked him, you think you're going to set roots up in Nashville? He's like, I could do that, Michigan's just an hour flight away, so my family's not that far, so I think I can do that. And so that's really it with Dominique and McKinley. We'll get to them next episode, their wedding, and get more.
Hopefully we get both weddings next episode in 2 hours. Everybody should get married.
We should. All right, so last but not least, we got Eris and Jasmine, and we see them going shopping for their tuxedo and dress. Jasmine has her mom Yvette and Emmy, and I'm going to jump to this. as they're trying on dresses, like, Mom gets emotional when she finally picks her dress.
Yeah.
Because what we find out is 3 months prior, the mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. So they didn't even know they would be at this point where, first of all, she's doing Married at First Sight. So, I mean, you wouldn't know I'd be getting married because I'm doing a Married at First Sight. But also, because of her mom's diagnosis and her going through treatment, they didn't know what the outcome would be. So they're just grateful and thankful that they're at this point. Jasmine says later, you know, faith is a big thing for her. She's a preacher's kid. And so as they're getting ready to go down the aisle, you know, one of the sisters prays, you know, and so that's a big thing for them. But while she's trying on, she says, you know, I'm a pageant queen, so I'm trying to find a dress. I'm trying to get out of the pageant mindset and actually find a wedding dress. So the first dress she tries on, you know, it's pretty and everything, but Jasmine's like, it reminds me of a pageant. Yeah. And I don't want that.
She don't want that at a wedding. I mean, you're doing it all your life.
Mm-hmm. You know, she shares with them, she said, I want a guy that's patient and compassionate, and I want to look, he want him to look like he'd been to the gym, like he's seen it inside the gym. He did something.
He look like he'd been to the gym.
So again, so she ends up on a embellished dress with sleeves. It's kind of sheer and see-through. It's very pretty though. She was like, this is it. This is it. And like I said, they got, you know, teary, whatever. You know, he says, I've been pretty calm up until this point. He goes shopping for a tuxedo with his friends, Cheese and Harold. And he said, you know, they were like, are you going to cry? Are you going to cry when you get married? He was like, nah, I ain't going to cry unless she ugly. No, I'm not going to cry. He tries on a burgundy tux, and they're like, eh. He said, he talks about how he wishes his dad could be there. His dad got murdered when he was in 1994. And so, growing up without a dad, he had some insecurity, like, can I be a man enough? How do I be a man? Because he didn't have that example. And so he says, I know my dad's looking down. He's the fly type of guy, so, you know, I want to get something that he would like. So he tries on a black tux, and, you know, with the, here we go, shoes with no socks.
Shoes with no socks.
It's got a satin lapel, and they're like, okay, yeah, that's it right there. And his friend's like, are you ready to commit, you know, and leave? Well, he says, I'm ready to commit and leave my F-boy ways. And later on, as they're getting ready, Harold says that too. You ready to let go of your hot boy summer, your F-boy summer? And so, as they're getting dressed in the suite before,
Eric looks out in the window, looks to the streets.
He opens the window, open the curtain,
and waves to the streets. Bye, streets. See y'all later.
If you gotta say bye to the streets right now,
bro, you know you've been in the streets a lot. But he's the same one who said he had sex 2 weeks before. Like the day before he even knew that he was going to be on the show. So he's saying bye to the streets.
What's his best case scenario? He said, best case scenario for me is that we make some offspring and, you know, we have nasty, enjoyable process doing it. Yeah. That's his best case scenario. But as they're getting ready, we see... Jasmine says she's been good up to that point, but now she's got knots in her stomach. She's jittery. You know, she has a fear that it's going to be awkward. You know, when we get together, I'm nervous for him to meet my family. What if he doesn't meet my family? And they ask her, do you think you can learn to love him? She was like, yeah, I can learn to love him. I've done that before.
But that's, I mean, question. I mean, even when you're dating, you learn to love somebody. So why wouldn't it be this way? And I said it on many reviews. You, in Married at First Sight, has to look at it like this. I'm setting up for a long-term date, which I'm actually married to the person. I'm in a long-term relationship, but I'm learning to love this person.
Eric says, again, his friend Harold was like, you ready to say bye to your hot boy, your F-boy summer? He was like, yeah. In his vignette, he said, I feel like I've been preparing for this. I've been through therapy. And then I kind of chuckled. He said, he was like, you know, I read this book over the summer.
Read Pastor Cal's book.
Maybe that's what it was.
Marriage for Punks. Or he read, you know, my 5 love languages. Whatever, you know. I don't know. He didn't say, but.
Yeah. So the last thing we see with them is, you know, they're getting ready to go into the ceremony, and Eric sees his cousin Felina, the one that he said before she don't have no cut cards, and she did it again. She was like, you know, you don't have to do this. You can always say no. You can always leave. She was like, it's never too late. He said, I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like I'm here now.
I ain't paying that money to back out this contract. But again, neither way, but she thinks he's a street boy that, you know, he ain't ready for it. He's not mature enough.
She said, I hear you talking a lot about, I hope it's like this. I don't know what she expect him to say. He should be saying, I hope it's, but she was like, it's a whole lot of hope. I don't like it. You know, I want you, this is not a joke. It's not a game. You know, how it plays out would to shape the rest of your life. And he was like, I know that. He said that too. But she was like, yeah, this don't make no sense. I don't think you should do it. So if you want to go, we can go. Let's go.
And that's how it leads us.
Mm-hmm.
Leads us with her giving him the option or the out. And of course, I don't think he's going to take the out. I think he's going to go walk down the aisle and finish this process, whether he likes Jasmine or not. Time will tell, and whether they move along or not, time will tell.
Yeah.
And if he can wave bye to the streets, maybe he can say hello to the house.
And really mean it.
And really mean it.
Yeah.
But y'all leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about this episode. Let us know what you think about our review. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and bell notification. If you're still here watching us till we got to the end and you're not subscribed yet, why not?
Please subscribe.
Subscribe. Bell notification. Subscribe button. And we'll talk to you guys a little bit later. We appreciate you, and thanks for everything.
Bye.